From whistleblowers to catastrophic events that defy explanation, this list is truly out of this world. These are 10 examples of historical events that may have been extraterrestrial encounters covered up by the government. The Tunguska Event of 1908 remains one of the most mysterious occurrences in modern history, with a massive explosion leveling over 2,000 square kilometers of Siberian forest. Official explanations point to a meteorite or comet exploding in the atmosphere, but no impact crater was ever found. Some believe that the explosion was actually caused by a crashing alien spacecraft or even a high-energy alien weapon test gone wrong. The idea is that the lack of concrete evidence and the remote location made it the perfect event to cover up as a natural disaster. Supporters of this theory argue that the unusual patterns of destruction and the strange eyewitness reports, like seeing a fiery object streaking across the sky, suggest something far more extraordinary than a mere space rock. Could it be that this massive blast was actually an alien encounter that governments have quietly swept under the rug? The Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD was a catastrophic event that engulfed the city in flames for 6 days, leaving massive destruction in its wake. While history often blames the fire on Emperor Nero's negligence, or perhaps even his malicious intent, some alternative theories offer a far more intriguing explanation: an alien mishap. According to this theory, the fire wasn't a result of human actions at all, but rather the crash or malfunction of an extraterrestrial spacecraft or weapon. To prevent mass hysteria and conceal this shocking encounter, the story goes that Emperor Nero pointed fingers at the Christians, using them as scapegoats to divert attention from the true cause. The rapid spread and intensity of the blaze, coupled with the strange accounts from that time, have led some to speculate that Rome's fiery disaster might actually have been an alien incident covered up by the empire to avoid panic and maintain control. The Battle of Los Angeles in 1942 is one of the most puzzling events in wartime history. In the early hours of February 25th, air raid sirens blared across Los Angeles, and anti-aircraft firearms lit up the night sky, firing over 1,400 shells at what was believed to be an enemy aircraft. However, no aircraft was ever recovered, and there was no evidence of a Japanese attack, so what were they shooting at? Officially, the government chalked it up to a false alarm, possibly triggered by war nerves, but not everyone is totally convinced. Some theorists argue that the military was actually targeting a UFO, an unidentified flying object that appeared over the city. Witnesses reported seeing a large, slow-moving craft illuminated by searchlights, seemingly unaffected by the intense artillery barrage. Could it have been an alien craft silently hovering over Los Angeles, immune to human weaponry? The sudden dismissal of the incident as a mere false alarm and the lack of any tangible enemy debris leads some to believe that this was a deliberate cover-up, hiding an extraterrestrial encounter from the public eye. The Aurora, Texas UFO crash of 1897 is one of the earliest recorded incidents of a supposed alien encounter in the United States. According to reports, a strange flying object plummeted from the sky and crashed near the small town of Aurora, and remarkably, locals claimed to have discovered a small alien body among the wreckage. This curious event was even reported in local newspapers, detailing not just the crash but also the burial of the alien being in the town cemetery. However, the story was quickly labeled a hoax by authorities, with skeptics dismissing it as a prank or a case of mistaken identity. But why was it so swiftly swept under the rug? Some believe the dismissal was a deliberate cover-up to avoid public panic and to keep the public in the dark about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. The sudden shift from serious news coverage to complete denial raises eyebrows, suggesting that something far more extraordinary than a mere hoax might have occurred that day in Aurora. The Kyshtym Disaster of 1957 was a catastrophic radioactive contamination incident in the Soviet Soviet Union that was shrouded in secrecy for decades. Officially, the disaster was attributed to a failure in the cooling system of a nuclear waste storage tank, leading to an explosion that released massive amounts of radiation into the environment. However, of course, some theorists suggest that the true case of this disaster might have been much stranger than a mere human error. They propose that the contamination was linked to a malfunctioning alien spacecraft or an extraterrestrial experiment gone awry, causing a catastrophic release of radioactive materials. The theory goes that rather than admitting to an alien presence on Earth and the resulting panic that might ensue, Soviet authorities chose to cover up the event with a more mundane, albeit still alarming, explanation. The unusual secrecy surrounding the disaster and the Soviet Union's quick suppression of any public knowledge about it have fueled these suspicions. Could the Kyshtym disaster have been an alien encounter that went horribly wrong, concealed by the Soviet regime to avoid global hysteria? I don't know. You tell me at this point. The Fatima Miracle of 1917 is often celebrated as a divine event, where thousands of people in Fatima, Portugal reported seeing the sun dance, zigzag, and emit radiant colors across the sky. Described by many as a miracle, the phenomenon has been a cornerstone of religious faith for millions. However, some theorists suggest that what those people actually witnessed wasn't a miracle at all, but rather a UFO event that was misunderstood by the crowd. Theories propose that an unidentified flying object might have been hovering high above, performing maneuvers that defied conventional understanding at the time. The bright lights and strange movements of this UFO could have been easily mistaken for the sun's bizarre behavior, especially to a crowd already primed for a miraculous experience. The Catholic Church's quick embrace of this event as a miracle might have conveniently overshadowed any further investigation into more otherworldly explanations. Was the dancing sun really a UFO, its alien visitors cloaked in the guise of a miracle, hidden in plain sight under the veil of faith? The UFO sighting over Nuremberg in 1561. On that fateful day, the skies above the German city were filled with strange, unidentified flying objects engaged in what appeared to be a full-blown aerial battle. Witnesses described seeing cylindrical objects, spheres, and crosses darting across the sky, all culminating in a massive crash outside the city. While skeptics argue that it was likely a misinterpreted atmospheric phenomenon, perhaps an unusual solar event or meteor shower, others believe this could have been one of the earliest recorded extraterrestrial encounters. The idea is that these strange objects weren't just figments of medieval imagination, but actual alien crafts engaging in some unknown conflict. The quick dismissal of the event as a natural occurrence, despite the detailed and widespread witness accounts, has led some to speculate that this was a deliberate attempt to downplay what might have been an alien visitation. The Washington D.C. UFO incident of 1952 left the nation's capital in a state of shock and awe as multiple unidentified flying objects were seen darting across the skies over several nights. These mysterious crafts were not only visually observed by pilots and residents, but also tracked on radar, showing movements that defied the known capabilities of any aircraft at the time. The objects displayed sudden acceleration, sharp turns, and speeds far beyond what human technology could achieve in the 1950s. Despite the compelling evidence, the US Air Force was quick to dismiss the sightings, attributing them to a weather phenomenon called temperature inversion, which they claimed could create radar anomalies and optical illusions. However, this explanation didn't sit well with everyone, particularly those who witnessed the bizarre events firsthand. Many believe the official story was a calculated cover-up to avoid mass panic and to keep the truth about extraterrestrial visitors hidden. The erratic movements and evasive maneuvers of these UFOs suggest they were more than just a mirage or a radar glitch, possibly clearly pointing to a genuine encounter with alien technology that authorities decided was better left unexplained. The Cape Girardeau UFO crash of 1941 is one of the lesser known yet very compelling stories that hint at early contact with extraterrestrial life. According to reports, a mysterious object crashed near Cape Girardeau, Missouri in the dead of night. Witnesses claim that among the wreckage, small alien-like beings were discovered, and a local reverend was even called to perform last rites for these strange entities. The eerie details don't stop there. Rumors suggest that the military swiftly intervened, collecting the wreckage and warning locals to remain silent about what they had seen. This incident predates the more famous Roswell crash by several years, suggesting that the US government might have known about extraterrestrial visitors much earlier than commonly thought. The fact that this event was quickly hushed up and dismissed as a non-event definitely raises some eyebrows. Could it be that the crash represents one of the first attempts to cover up an alien encounter, keeping the existence of extraterrestrials a secret from the public? With so few records and the story relegated to local whispers, it certainly seems like an intentional effort to bury what could have been a groundbreaking revelation about our place in the universe. The Maury Island incident of 1947 is a fascinating tale of UFO sightings, mysterious threats, and a possible government cover-up. Just days before the infamous Roswell incident, Harold Dahl reported seeing 6 UFOs while out boating in Puget Sound near Maury Island, Washington. He described the objects as donut-shaped and emitting strange metallic debris that caused damage to his boat and even injured his son. When Dahl shared his story, things took an even more chilling turn. He was allegedly visited by men in black who wanted him to keep quiet about what he had seen, suggesting severe consequences if he didn't comply. This encounter is considered one of the first instances of government intimidation related to UFO sightings, fueling speculation that authorities were desperate to suppress any evidence of extraterrestrial activity. The timing of the incident so close to Roswell definitely raises suspicions that there might have been a coordinated effort to keep the public in the dark about the presence of UFOs. Could the Maury Island incident have been an early attempt to cover up an alien encounter, using fear and secrecy to prevent the truth from coming out? Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye!